Have you ever been left out of a big family event? I'm not talking about a small get-together. I mean a huge, once-in-a-lifetime celebration. Well, that's exactly what happened to me with my own sister-in-law's wedding. And let me tell you, the story is wild. So let's rewind a bit. My brother, Mark, started dating Clara about 5 years ago. At first, everything seemed great. Clara was charming, funny, and seemed to fit right into our family. We'd have family dinners, go on weekend trips, and I really thought we were building a genuine friendship. We even had our inside jokes and would text each other regularly. I was thrilled for my brother. He had found someone who made him incredibly happy. When they announced their engagement, I was over the moon. I immediately started picturing the wedding, helping with the planning, being a bridesmaid, all the exciting stuff. I even bought them a fancy engagement gift and took them out for a celebratory dinner. During that dinner, Clara was all smiles, talking about her dream wedding. She asked for my opinion on color schemes and dress styles. I felt so included, so valued. I went home that night buzzing with excitement, but then things started to get weird. My text to Clara started getting shorter replies or sometimes no reply at all. When I call, she was always too busy to talk. I figured, hey, she's planning a wedding, it's a stressful time. I gave her space. I tried to be the supportive future sister-in-law. One Saturday, my mom called me super excited. I just got back from bridesmaid dress shopping with Clara and the girls. She said, my heart just sank. The girls? I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. She listed off Clara's 2 best friends and her cousin. My name wasn't on that list. I played it cool with my mom, saying something like, oh, that sounds fun. But as soon as I hung up, the confusion and hurt washed over me. Why wouldn't she have at least told me? I decided to talk to my brother, Mark. I didn't want to cause drama, so I approached it gently. Hey, just wondering about the wedding party plans, I said. Mom mentioned dress shopping. Am I not a bridesmaid? Mark looked so uncomfortable. He stammered. Oh, Clara wanted to keep it really small, just her closest friends. I nodded, trying to understand. Okay, I said, but we're close, aren't we? I thought we were. He just shrugged and said, it's Clara's day, Let's just support her. That stung. It's Clara's day became the go-to excuse for everything that followed. I wasn't invited to the bachelorette party. I found out through pictures posted on social media. There they were, all the bridesmaids and a few other friends, having a great time at a beach resort. I wasn't included in the bridal shower planning either. I was just invited as a regular guest, which felt like a slap in the face. At the shower, Clara was polite but distant. She opened my gift, said a quick thank you, and moved on. The warmth we used to share was completely gone. I tried to talk to her directly one more time. I caught her alone for a moment and said, Clara, I feel like I've done something to upset you. If I have, please just tell me. I value our relationship and I want to fix it. She looked at me with this blank expression and said, you're imagining things. Everything's fine. I'm just really busy with the wedding. It was a total shutdown. There was a wall there and I couldn't get through. So I accepted it. I wasn't in the wedding party. It hurt, but I decided to be the bigger person. I would be a gracious guest and celebrate my brother's happiness. That was the most important thing, right? The months leading up to the wedding were a blur of me being systematically excluded from every pre-wedding activity. But I held my head high. I bought a beautiful new dress for the wedding, found the perfect gift from their registry, and prepared to just smile and be happy for them. Then, about 3 weeks before the wedding day, the invitations went out. I waited and waited. A week went by and nothing. I asked my parents if they got theirs, and they had. I thought maybe mine got lost in the mail, so I called Mark. Hey, weird question, but I haven't gotten a wedding invitation yet. Just wanted to make sure it didn't get lost. There was a long, painful silence on the other end of the line. Then Mark said, his voice barely a whisper, You're not invited. I honestly thought it was a joke. I laughed and said, What? That's not funny, Mark. but he didn't laugh back. He said, "Clara decided." She said, She said the venue has a very strict capacity limit, and we had to make some tough cuts. A capacity limit? They were cutting the groom's own sister? I was speechless. All I could manage to say was, "You're letting her do this? You're okay with your own sister not being at your wedding?" He started using that same old line, "It's her big day. I don't want to cause any fights. Please just try to understand." I didn't understand. I hung up the phone and just cried. I felt a level of betrayal I've never experienced before. It wasn't just Clara. It was my own brother choosing her over me, over our entire family history. My parents were furious. They called Mark, they called Clara, they tried to reason with them. But Clara was firm. She told my mom that my negative energy would ruin her perfect day. Negative energy? My energy was hurt and confused because she had been pushing me away for months. My parents threatened not to go. They told Mark, "If your sister isn't welcome, then neither are we." Mark begged them to come, saying Clara was already stressed and this would just make it worse. In the end, I told my parents to go. I didn't want them to miss their son's wedding, no matter how horribly he was behaving. It was the hardest thing I've ever had to do, telling them to go celebrate without me. So the wedding day arrived. I spent the day at home, trying my best to ignore it. I turned off my phone to avoid seeing the inevitable flood of pictures. It was a miserable, lonely day. Around 10 p.m. that night, my phone, which I turned back on, started blowing up. It was my mom calling over and over. I finally answered, expecting to hear a recap of how beautiful everything was, but her voice was frantic. "You will not believe what happened," she said. Here's what she told me. The ceremony went fine. It was at the reception that things completely fell apart. The theme was elegant and sophisticated, and apparently Clara had a vision, a very, very specific vision. She had hired an incredibly expensive wedding planner and micromanaged every single detail. The first disaster was the cake. It was a 7-tier masterpiece, but when they went to cut it, the entire thing started to lean. It was like a slow-motion movie. The top 3 tiers toppled over and crashed onto the dance floor. Clara apparently let out a shriek that silenced the entire room. Then the DJ. Clara had given him a playlist with a strict do not deviate order. But our uncle, who had a bit too much to drink, went up and requested a popular line dance song. The DJ, trying to be nice, played it. The dance floor filled up, people were laughing and having fun. Clara marched over to the DJ booth and started yelling at him in front of everyone, screaming that he was ruining the sophisticated ambience. The DJ, completely humiliated, packed up his equipment and left, just left. The reception had no more music. But the grand finale, the moment that truly defined the evening, involved the best man Mark's childhood friend, David. During his speech, David, who is a genuinely sweet guy, thought it would be a touching tribute to mention me. He said something like, "I've known Mark my whole life, and his family has always been like a second family to me. We're all so happy for him and Clara today, and I know someone else is celebrating with us in spirit, his wonderful sister. We miss you and we love you." My mom said you could hear a pin drop. Clara's face went from pale to fire engine red. She grabbed the microphone from David's hand and said, "Excuse me. Some people are not here for a reason. This is my day, a day for positive and supportive people only. We will not be mentioning those who bring negativity." The entire room was in shock. My dad stood up and said, "That's my daughter you're talking about." Mark was just standing there, frozen, looking like a deer in headlights. People started whispering. The atmosphere went from celebration to a public trial. Clara's little tantrum had backfired spectacularly. Instead of making me look bad, she had exposed herself as a cruel, controlling person in front of all her friends and family. My parents left immediately after that. They told me several other guests, including some of Mark's oldest friends, walked out too. They were disgusted by Clara's behavior. The perfect day she had meticulously planned, the day she excluded me from to preserve its perfection, had turned into an absolute train wreck because of her own actions. The next day, Mark called me, sobbing. He apologized over and over. He said he had been a coward, that he was so scared of upsetting Clara that he let her walk all over him and our family. He said the wedding was the worst night of his life. Honestly, a part of me felt a little bit of satisfaction hearing that. It's not my proudest moment, but it's the truth. Karma, right? I told Mark that his apology was a start, but that he had a lot of work to do to repair the damage. Our relationship is still strained. I'm civil to Clara for Mark's sake, but the friendship we once had is gone forever. I can't forget how she treated me. So that's the story of how I was uninvited to my own brother's wedding, and how my sister-in-law's joyful day imploded. It's a crazy reminder that sometimes, when you try too hard to control everything and push people away, you end up creating the very disaster you were trying to avoid. What do you guys think? Have you ever dealt with a situation like this? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching and listening to my story. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. See you next time!